welcome everyone. I am John Ryan of SportsMemo.com, and I'm the host, along with my co-host Ronald Cabang of the NBA Triple Double Show. And it is Thursday, April the 28th, about 12:30 on the dot Eastern Standard Time, and we do this show Monday through Friday. We just do the show Monday through Friday. I don't know why I just stopped like that, Ron. I guess today I do a lot of shows, so I guess I had a brain, you know what. But anyway, I guess I paused because I was so excited about the games tonight. We have three good games going tonight. Starting out with the Sixers and the Raptors, and man alive, are the Sixers getting beat before they even get on the court by their own fans? It's
Yeah.
terrible. Oh, it's absolutely horrible.
Yeah.
Let's start with that game. We have the Philadelphia 76ers, who appeared to be on the verge of a sweep over the Toronto Raptors, and now I guess they feel like the ones that are on the ropes right now, because even though they lead the series 3-2, they're playing in Toronto at the Scotiabank Arena, and all the pressure in the world is being put on the Sixers. They're professional athletes, so I'm sure that they're not absorbing the pressure too much, I would think. The
hmm
media in the Philadelphia region, New York region, the sentiment swings from the greatest team ever to fire the coach, get rid of the franchise, they all suck, goodbye, sayonara. And I think that's where the Sixers are. So whenever the Philadelphia fan base gets so negative, especially blasting James Harden, I think making a lot more out of Embiid's comments in the post-game press conference than was there. He was saying that everybody has to shoot better, shoot more. But to draw the conclusion that he was throwing Harden under the bus is a bit of a reach, in my opinion. And I think sometimes these players might, hear about it or actually watch it, and all of a sudden they start laughing in the locker room, like, "Hey, did you hear what that idiot just said about you?" So anyway, I think this is going to be an exciting game. I'm interested to see what your take is. Toronto could be up 3-2 in this series if it wasn't for Maxi's 38 points in game one. But
hmm
that's part of the woulda, shoulda, coulda club. Ifs only matter, if you're winning. So what is your take on this game? And tell us where you might be leaning for a best bet.
Yeah, I think we mentioned a couple of days ago or a couple of games ago on the show that the longer the series goes, the Raptors are gaining more confidence and more momentum. And in a series preview I said this was going to go 7 games. Not exactly in this fashion, but I still believe that this is going to probably go 7 games. I do like the Raptors here a little bit. If we look at this game by game, Sixers won by 20 game one, game two, Sixers won by 15. Game three, Sixers get by with a 3-point win on a Embiid buzzer beater. And then you can already see right there that the shift of margin of victory is going towards the Raptors. Now in game four, we get Raptors win by 8. And then in the last game, they win by 15. So, I mean, like the momentum is shifting. It shifted, and everything is on the Raptors side right now. I'm not saying that they're going to win by double digits again or anything like that, but you could just tell by the body language in the last game, that the Raptors are feeling real confident right now, and that's what you need in the playoffs. I mean, from a coaching standpoint, coaches always talk about peaking at the right time, and it's because when you're at your peak, you're at your highest confidence level, and you have momentum on your side. I mean, look, if you look at the Bulls, they peaked early in the season, and then they lost all momentum heading into the playoffs, and obviously they only came out with a one win against the Bucks. So, I mean, with all that said, Raptors have that momentum and confidence on their side right now. Trend wise, the Raptors are 22-14 straight up, and against the spread against conference teams with a winning record, including 4-1 against the spread in the last 5 games in these spots as home dogs. And the only loss in that 5 game span was against Philly in game four when they lost by 3. The line was 2, so they failed to cover just by 1 point in that game. We also see there's a strength in the line here when in the last home game they were 2.5, 2.5 point dogs, and now they're 1.5 point dogs here today. So you can kind of see the book shifting a little bit here towards the Raptors side. To me, the signs are pointing towards the Raptors winning this game outright tonight and extending it to 7 games.
Yeah, I can see that. I'm leaning kind of on the other side, Ronald. That doesn't happen too much with us. I'll tell you what I do like is a bet that we did the other day with Minnesota and Memphis. And we said that the bet was for the show the first half Minnesota plus the points. It was +3. But then the live in game condition was that if the Timberwolves were leading, which they were at the half, you bet the favorite, which was Memphis. And that worked out to perfection. And I'll be honest, much to my surprise, I basically ended the show thinking, like, why did I just tell people to bet on both teams in the same game? It sounds a little ridiculous, but nevertheless, that applies to tonight. And I think I may keep the powder dry on the Sixers until halftime. Obviously, I would be, if Toronto's winning by, say, 5 or 6 at the half, you're going to get a better value than you are now, certainly. And you'll be able to get them money line underdog is actually how I would think about playing it. I'll do more on Twitter, when the game is in motion and we're at halftime and let everybody know what my plans are for those that are interested. But I think it's going to be a dynamite game. It's going to be physical as hell, and it's going to be a very tough game for the referees to officiate. That part is going to be true, and whether they impact the game or not remains to be seen. Let's move on to our second game here. And the second game, in fact, all these games are great now. I mean, they're playoff games.
Yeah.
This is a series that I thought was going to end pretty quickly. The top seeded, top record team in the NBA, the Suns, it's an elimination game now. 3-2, they are up. And, I think they get it done tonight. I hands down think they're the better team than the Pelicans. The Pelicans have had an awesome second half to their season. But if you see their overall record is 38-49. So they are a losing record team. But that is not reflective of how good this team really is. They are at home. They are young. They are fully capable of pulling off the upset. But even with the injuries that Phoenix has, or the chemistry issues of the players coming back, might impact the game in the first half there. I just think the Suns will eventually will their way to the victory. You with me on this one, or do you see other opportunities?
No, I do like the Suns here. This is gonna also, obviously these guys have been going back and forth the whole series, right? Win loss, win loss, win loss. I can't. The one thing I can't see is Bridges playing the way he did in Game 5. But what he did in the last game should open up the offense a bit for the Suns here, just because what Bridges was able to do was he was able to score, right? And with Booker out out of injury, they needed that second score, because what we were seeing was CP and Aiden really just going with the pick and roll there. And once Pelicans caught on to that, they defended that in Game 4, and CP wasn't able to do anything that game the rest of the way. They also lost Game 4 because of the whole free throw discrepancy there. The Pelicans went 32 for 42 from the free throw line, while the Suns went 10 for 15. There was another huge discrepancy from the free throw line in Game 5, but the Suns defense showed up and held the Pelicans to just 40% from the field. I think, since the All-Star break, the Pelicans are 5-2 straight up and against the spread following games where they lost by double digits. And that includes winning Game 2 outright after losing Game 1 by 11. With that said, though, I still lean towards the Suns here because of what they showed defensively in Game 5. Just not really sure if I can get to the window with it. I think Bridges, like I mentioned, I don't think Bridges is going to score 30 points again like he did. So we're going to need someone like Cam Johnson or even Cam Payne off the bench to really up their scoring and their scoring ability in this game here. But for now, I'm leaning towards the Suns. Probably gonna wait it out a little bit to see if I can get more information on some things. But another thing I see is Tony Brothers is officiating this game, so that's another thing to look at here. But I do still lean towards the Suns.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I like the breakdown. I'm leaning the Suns as well. Michael Bridges was a player prop best bet in our last show that I recall giving out. And it was a good time to do that because it went over the total very quickly. Yeah. I agree. I don't think he's going to have another spectacular game like that, but I did look at the player props for him. And points and assists I'm trying to find right here over at BetMGM. for some reason. Oh, there's Michael Bridges. 18.5 minus 110 at BetMGM, and I do like that. Again, I don't think you're gonna see him score 30, but if he
Hmm.
scores 18, and I'm sure he's gonna have at least one assist, and that's what you need here. So,
Yeah. I
even
mean, just real quick too, just hearing that line right there, 18 and a half, that's kind of telling you that he's not going to have that same scoring outburst that he did in game
yep.
5, because I mean, going 31 and your points and assists is at 18 and a half, that's a little bit fishy to me.
Yeah, and I think that was the same number in the previous game. I think it was 18 and a half.
Hmm.
So yeah, and Cameron Johnson, what do you think of him? 14 and a half points and assists minus 120, or 15 and a half. Well, that's a ridiculous line at FanDuel. It's for 15 and a half minus 128, so it's actually more juice at FanDuel and an extra point than at BetMGM. But 14 and a half, I kind of like the over with that one too. Do you agree with that, or?
Yeah, I agree, because I mean, he's putting up 5 3-pointers a game, and he's only hit one each, I believe, in the last 2 games. I can't see him shooting that terribly, for this long of a stretch. I think he gets more opportunity here. With the offense opening up. I mean, yeah, credit to Bridges. I'm telling you, I think it's going to open up this offense a little bit more, and they're going to take advantage of that today. And Bridges is just going to focus primarily on the defensive side of the ball to really just focus on stopping McCollum. So, yeah, I think Cam Johnson can get over that number if it's points and assists.
I'm glad that we're in agreement. Usually, when we're together, we do pretty well with the result. Let's move on to the third and final game of the night. And next slide here is the Dallas Mavericks taking on the Utah Jazz. What a series this has become. Obviously, injuries and key starter, superstar players not being able to play at full strength or at all has impacted the series. But now we're at a pick'em situation, essentially, with a total of 210. I'm seeing 210 and a half mostly across the board. This is a game that obviously is a coin flip, but monumentally important as Dallas leads 3-2, and this is a elimination game for the Utah
Mhm.
Jazz. How do you see this game playing out, Ronald?
Yeah, I think in this series specifically, and just thinking about the Jazz as a team, I think they're just too much of a mess right now to really keep things together. Mitchell is going to play. He's going to try to play through an injury, and he's already been struggling this series. The Jazz, they tend to follow up poor performances with another poor performance. They're 3-7 straight up and 1-9 against the spread, following double-digit losses. And this really, I mean, should have been a 4-1 series already. I think the Mavs should have probably closed this out in Game 5. I do think this one actually might be a little bit closer than the last game, though. I just don't see Bogdanovich going 0 for 9 from the field again. I think he'll have
Good
a
point.
decent game, and help keep them kind of close in this game for a while, maybe first half. But after that, I think the defense really from the Mavericks side is just going to take over in the second half, and really just have them close this one out. Trend wise, they're 16 and 12 straight up, and 22 and 6 against the spread against conference teams with a winning record. The Mavs are, and if we break this down into games, the books think will be tight. So I'm looking at Mavs where they're either favored by up to 3 points, or dogs by up to 3 points. So just within that little range, the Mavs are 8-2 straight up and against the spread in those situations, and you can see that the line I believe, is at pick'em right now. And I think it may have opened as Utah -1 if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I think the Mavs close this one out. I wouldn't be surprised if they would end up winning by close to double digits, if not by double digits.
Yeah, I like it. And for my stuff, the in-game betting here, I think of all the three games, this is going to provide the best opportunity. Both teams are fully capable of ripping off 10 straight unanswered points. And when that happens in NBA games, it's a simple thing to be doing while you're watching a game, and I do it quite a bit. If you like Utah, if you like Dallas, as Ronald's pointing out here, Utah rips off 10 in a row. It's usually a timeout situation. Gives you plenty of time to get the live in-game bet in during the commercial break, and it works. It doesn't work every single time, but it works well. So if you like Dallas, for example, bet 50% pre-flop now, and then wait for that 10-point run by Utah. And granted, it might not happen, but if it does, take advantage of it. Add another 25%. If Utah does it again, add the other 25%. And that's a solid professional betting strategy, no doubt. And my betting angle today, I'm not saying that I like the Utah Jazz, because I really don't know who I like here. I'm almost thinking live in game at halftime. Whoever's trailing, to just bet that because it'll be value, especially if one team is up by 10 or more. But this is the NBA angle of the day. We're going to bet on home underdogs, which obviously the Jazz barely are, including Pick'em. The total's greater than or equal to 210. Our host is coming off a double-digit loss against the current series opponent, and following 2 straight games where our team scored no more than 105 points in each one, 25, 16, and 1 against the number for 61% winners, says to bet the Utah Jazz. And that's information. You can take and use it as you wish. Now we got to move on to our best bet of the show segment. And I'm going to let you lead off today, because I'm kind of on the. I don't know which one to pick out. Actually, I like this card quite a bit.
You do? Okay. Oh man,
I do.
This one's tough. This one is tough. I haven't, like I mentioned, I usually have my bets in around in the afternoon Pacific Standard Time. Usually I try to get as much information as possible before I place my bets. But I think here, I really feel like the Mavs will close this out tonight. I think the Mavs will win this one. That's just my opinion. I know you might have a different opinion, but for me, that might be my best play of the day. Would be the Mavs to win outright tonight.
Yeah, I can see that. I can definitely see it. Definitely agree with that, despite the fact that we had the betting angle of the day. But that's how you handicap. In any of these games, folks, I could probably show, and Ronald too, could show you dozens of analytical trends, situational trends that support both teams. And in other words, we could show you, if you like Dallas, I could show you 20 angles that support them. If you like the Jazz, I could show you 20 more that support the Jazz. But it's the overall handicapping process that we're trying to bring to the show, and how we end up getting to the best bet. So if the Sixers are trailing at halftime, I'm going to bet maybe 5 times the normal pizza size. So if pizza money where you live is $15, that would mean I'm betting $75, which would be about the equivalent of a 1-unit play. So not a big move there, but I do think that the Suns are going to be my best bet here for the day. I think no matter what, the character of this team, the coaching of this team is going to win the game. No matter how much of a fight the Pelicans put up, and they are a very good team, as we mentioned earlier, I just see the Suns coming out on top and closing it out and moving on to the second round. Before I let you go, Ron, what do you have going on over at SportsMemo.com for everyone?
Yeah, I'm gonna probably have 2 NBA games. I have a strong leans on 2 games. I'll probably have those up on Sports Memo today. I do believe I'll have 1 MLB game up today. I didn't have an MLB bet yesterday. I wanted to, make sure that I get more study in, because I was struggling here to begin the major the MLB season. But hoping to turn that around pretty soon here. So yeah, 2. I'm expecting to have 3 players, 2 NBA and 1 MLB. So that's going to be on Sports Memo tonight.
Great. And so everybody knows, $99 gets you the rest of the NBA playoff season at sportsmemo.com for everyone. Obviously, we would like it and appreciate it very much if you bought Ronald and my rest of the season for $99. It's kind of a no-brainer in my opinion. We're both hitting in the mid 70s against the number. I'm coming off a win last night. No, I'm not. I lost my 5%er, Ron. I was thinking the other night. I had the over in the Chicago Bulls game, and it got close. We lost by a point.
That was 1 point, 20. Yeah.
So that was kind of a bummer, but we 7-2, and that's the 7-2 record for the season and a 5% max bet. So everything there is going well, and I also have 2 going tonight. in the NBA. So if you're ever going to get that $99 subscription, you're saving yourself a lot of money by getting the subscription instead of buying both our picks. So you make 4 purchases today and just make 2 subscriptions, and you're going to save a lot of money. And I think you'll be very happy with the results as well. So that'll bring us to the end of the show. Ronald will be back on Friday at 12:30 Eastern Standard Time with another live edition of the NBA Triple Double. And until then, remember the 2 things I always say: bet with your head, not over it.